Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Wednesday webinar. Today, we are going to be talking about creating Excel templates within the Microsoft Dynamics CRM. So why an Excel template? So CRM has a lot of capabilities within itself to view your data. There's dashboards, charts, and personalized views. But sometimes we still need to take our data out of CRM and maybe do analysis within Excel, or maybe there are certain types of printable reports that you would want to create. You also could do it, you know, there's the ability to export into Excel, but that's just a table. And I see a lot of people manually manipulating the data each time they export. If it's something that's one-off or it's a very unique situation, that's fine. But when they're doing it on a more regular basis, or you find yourself repetitively manipulating data that you export, an Excel template is going to be helpful there. This also can happen if you have multiple people exporting data and providing reports to you. So that could be something just, you have someone out on vacation, or you just want anyone to be able to pull the report and bring it into a meeting. You want that report to have a consistent look and feel. So that's another place that templates really can come in handy. An Excel template at the end of the day is basically just a shell you create for a type of list that you're going to export from CRM. And once it's uploaded, you can use it at any time to get up-to-date analysis on your data. So let's look at the steps to create a template are very straightforward, and we'll go through a demo here in a moment. But the first thing that you want to do is create a view that has all the necessary columns. And this can be both columns that you want to use for your analysis and also columns that you would want to see if you're digging into the data. With this, you want to make sure that there are no duplicate column names. We see this a lot of times with the status field because there's a couple of different statuses, and if you have a duplicate column name, you will get an error when you try to export. Once you have your view set up, there's a file that you download to create the template. You add in all your formulas, charts, whatever it is that you want to add in, all the tweaking you want to do. And the tip with this is to always save the file for the page that you want to open first showing. And then you upload the template back into CRM and it's ready to go. So it's very straightforward. You just want to really think about the data that you want. So let's go ahead and just get into CRM and we'll go through the process of making an Excel template. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to create that personalized view. You may want to use one of the system views that you already have, but a lot of times there may be some other types of columns you want, or maybe even a different type of filtering that you want. So we're going to go ahead and go into the advanced find here where the funnel is. And the type of report I'm going to create in this demo today is a sales report. So things that could be used like in a sales management meeting, or if you took it up a level, maybe even to like an executive level meeting, we're really going to be looking at sales progress and also open opportunities. So I'm going to start with the open opportunities view. But what I'm going to change, because I also want to track progress, is I'm going to also include opportunities that are won. Then I'm going to edit the columns. And I'm keeping this very basic, but you could add in other things, like especially if you're looking at the data I only have is from just the last couple years, but if you wanted to do it year to date, you would do, created on this year. You could add in as many requirements for filtering as you want, but we're going to keep this basic for the demo here. And then I'm going to remove columns that I don't want to see. And then I'm going to add in some columns because my specific analysis, what I want to look at is how old the opportunity is. I'm going to do an aging and who's responsible for it. So some of the things we're going to look at is I'm going to add in actual revenue so I can track how much we've sold, when it was created. And I'm going to add in the owner and the status. And not that I necessarily need to see status, but because I'm going to want to filter my report between what's still open and what's already been won, that's why I'm adding the status in. So I've added in all my columns. And I'm going to save as, and we're just going to name this test Excel template view. Okay, so we've got that. So now within our opportunities, let me refresh here. I'm going to go out to the front page. Sometimes when you're updating or adding views and things into CRM, you sometimes have to either refresh, go back to the home page. Oh, for some reason I thought it saved, but it didn't. I'm just going to do that again really quick here. Sorry about the delay, guys. And I'm just re-adding in the columns that I want to see here. I may not have given it enough time before I close the window. Okay, well, it has the save view here, so let's try this again. Oh, I was just being impatient. Now we have two of them. Two is better than one, I guess. So let's go to our test view. Now, to get the template, to start creating your Excel template, up here in the white toolbar, we're going to go to Excel templates. And you can see we have one already in the system, but we're going to go to create Excel template. And this is where you're going to go when you're downloading for the file that you want to work on, and also when you upload your final saved file. So within this pop-up box, you can choose between Excel, and there are Word templates too, but we'll discuss those in a future webinar. You could choose a different entity. You can choose the saved view that you want to start with, and you can edit columns here. I don't prefer editing columns in this area. I like to create the view first. That way it can be something multiple people could access. It's just already created within the system. But if you did want to edit columns here, it looks just the same as it did within the advanced find window. So we're going to download the file, and I'm going to open it right away. And now we're within Excel. So now anything that you can do within Excel, you can do to this file. You just don't want to change any of these columns that have exported. So some of the things that I've done with sales, and I was talking that I'm specifically going to be looking kind of from an aging perspective of opportunities. So I'm going to create a column that says age in days. And then I'm just going to do a formula that calculates the days between today and our created on date. So now we have how many days we have, and now I want to assign an aging name to them. So what I'm going to do is an if statement. And for my report, I'm going to say if the age in days is less than or equal to 90, I'm going to consider that a current opportunity. If it's over 90, I'm considering that overdue. That's something that we wouldn't want them sitting out longer. Some companies, I mean, it's different in every company, but that's what we're going to look at for this one. And then from here, a lot of people like pivot tables. So if we insert a pivot table, some of the things I'm going to do, I want to go by owner, and the aging will be my columns, and we're going to sum the estimated revenue. And because I included both open and won opportunities, I'm also going to add a filter of status to my pivot table so that I can change that to open. I just want to see of all open, you can see here's the sum of the revenue on what's current, and what's overdue for each of our salespeople we have listed. You know, just like any other pivot table, you could add more. Maybe we want to even go further, look at the rating of their open opportunities. The one thing with a pivot table that you want to do when you're putting it in an Excel template is you want to right click on the pivot table, go to pivot table options, and under the data tab, you want to make sure and choose this refresh data when opening the file. It doesn't come automatically checked, so you want to go ahead and do that. So when you download your Excel template, that's going to be automatically refreshed. You don't have to right click and refresh your pivot table. So with that, you know, you can also go into, you can add pivot charts from there with your data. One thing, if you're looking for a very professional feel to your report, or something maybe designed after other types of reports you can have, something else I've done in Excel a lot with these templates is you can create another sheet where you could start typing in your own report specifications. And I have one already saved here that I'm going to show you guys, just so you don't have to watch me type in a bunch of formulas and manually type everything in. We're going to pull this up, and it's going to look pretty similar. I downloaded this one about a week ago, so some of the data is going to be a little different than the one we were just looking at. But you can see I have that same pivot table where we have it by status, or by rating, and by the aging. But now this formatted table is something a little different that I've done. So a lot of times when I create Excel templates, especially for that professional, consistent view, a lot of times I will add a header where I will include the logo, maybe the name of the report, and I always like to add in the current date and time so that when you run the report, you have that kind of timestamp of this data is up to date at this moment. Because with Excel, whenever you're exporting, you are exporting a snapshot of all your data at that moment in time. So with this, I just typed up a couple tables. I have in here, you know, here's our salespeople. I input what their goal was for sales. And then I have a sum ifs formula that's going through that table that we're downloading from Excel. And it's saying, if it's this person and it's a one opportunity, give me that actual revenue. It's calculating what they have remaining left. And then just a couple other things that I've seen done within other companies has been like calculating the weeks left in the year. And then this gives us an amount to sell per week. It's kind of nice, especially if you have recurring sales meetings, to be able to say, okay, you need to roughly be selling, you know, $500 a week to meet your goal by the end of the year. And just kind of gives them a feel of not just thousands and thousands of dollars by the end of the year, but it's, this is what I need to do this next week. I added in a chart based on that table. This lower table, I took from that column that calculated the remaining, and then we pulled in sums of their cold, warm, and hot estimated revenues for their open opportunities and gave a total pending formula in here. So then when we look at this chart, we can see, for example, with myself here, I have $16,500 left to sell for this year. And based on just my hot opportunities alone, you know, I could sell more than enough to meet my goal. You know, if we look like here at Deb's section, based on what she has left and her open opportunities, not a lot of wiggle room there. And unless she has 100% close rate, we're probably going to need to get more open opportunities for her to meet her goal. So it's just providing a nice trending. And again, these are just some examples of things we've seen done. I'm sure you all have, you know, different metrics within your companies. It really is up to kind of your imagination and what you want to put in here for the formulas that are available in Excel, or what metrics you guys would want to bring in. So we've created this whole report. We've saved it. And now let's go ahead and we're going to upload it back onto the CRM so we could begin using it. So I'm going back to the CRM here. And there are two different types of Excel templates. There's personal ones that are just yours, and then you can share them with other users. Or there are system Excel templates that are available for everyone within the organization. So let's look at the personal ones first. When you're within the opportunities view here, if you're going to do a personal Excel template, we go back up here, create Excel template. This time we're going to upload. and you can drag or browse the file, but the file we're going to pull is that test Excel template, and we're going to upload it. It's going to bring up a little box that tells you, you have an activated template. You could rename it at this point in time. A lot of these fields are locked. It's not something you could edit a lot, but you could change the name. So now, when we go back to our view and we go to Excel templates, we can see under personal Excel templates, here's what we just uploaded. A lot of times people just upload here and then they wonder why, their coworker or maybe an admin or someone else can't see that, is because they've done this in a personal Excel template. If you were going to upload for a system template, and this may require some more administrative settings, if you don't have the right privileges, just talk to your CRM administrator and either have them do it or adjust your privileges. But to do system templates, you go to Settings, Templates, and then Document Templates. And here you can actually see a list of everything that we have. You can see if it's Excel or Word, you have the name, and if they're activated. So here we're going to upload a template, and we're going to just do the same one. And it's going to give us that same screen. The two screens, they look so similar. The only thing here is you can see it says document template versus personal document template. So I see a ton of people that upload personal ones and don't understand why they're not available for everyone. So just something to be aware of. Let's go back to the opportunities section here. And now you can see the system templates appear top and then personal Excel templates below them. So let's take a look at exporting one. And you can either open them in Excel online or download the template itself. I'm going to go ahead and download it. We're going to open it up. And it always comes up in a read-only capacity. You want to enable editing because that will allow you to print or work with your data. And it's taking just a minute for everything to pop in here. But now here is our report again, and it's got all the up-to-date data. So for example, if you look at the pivot table, before we had only the overdue, now there's overdue and current. We can see all of the ratings. And now if you look, actually, because some of the up-to-date data at Deb's chart, she has more than enough open opportunities now, so she's good to go. I apparently just need to sell a lot more because I have so many open and just need to start closing them. So you can see that the data is up to date. And at that moment in time, it's got the timestamp on here. It's up to date through this time. I could print this out, take it to a meeting. I could use it for whatever I may need, whether that's a meeting, giving it to someone else, passing it along, whatever. So we've got templates in here. And a lot of times, like I've talked about, you see people accidentally do personal instead of system ones. For the system ones, they're all managed in that settings area that we were in before. So let's go there first. And you don't have a lot of options once you have it loaded. When you look at your system templates, you can activate and deactivate them. You can delete them. You can enable security roles. So this provides first a blanket system template, but say that there's only certain people, maybe you don't want your salespeople to run this template, you only want managers and above. You can enable those security roles so only those particular users have that ability to see that template. This edit section is deceiving, I will always say, because people, I want to change a few things about my Excel template, I'll go in and edit it. This just pulls up that window that doesn't really have anything you can change except for the name. So if you want to edit the name, you could do that, but it doesn't actually give you the ability to edit the Excel template itself. If you want to make changes to your Excel template, you would change that in the Excel spreadsheet, and then you would have to deactivate this template and upload a new, like a version 2 template. So the personal templates are a little more obscure to find where you manage them, but you're going to do that from the advanced find here. So we're going to pull up the advanced find window. And for the entities you're going to look for, it is called personal document templates. And I'm just going to show the results right away. And you can see here is that personal template we created. So from here, the new personal document template, that's going to pop up the window where you could either download a file for creating a new template, or you could upload a different one. The edit is the same. It's just really editing the name, not the actual Excel file. You can activate, deactivate. You can delete personal templates. I delete only if I've made a mistake and I want to make sure it's not anywhere to be accidentally used. But if you do like a yearly sales template, and maybe it's something you have, 2019 goals, and then in 2020 you want to update it, a lot of times I just deactivate that so that people, like end users, don't see it. But I like to have that history of here's what our template was last year. A lot of times when I name templates for actual use, I will put a year or a date on them, like 2019 sales report, or 2019 sales report V2 if we make updates in the middle of the year, just so we can kind of keep track of here's the reporting we were doing at this time, here's the reporting we're doing now, and it still keeps end user views pretty clean and straightforward. You can also share or assign personal document templates. When you assign a template to someone, you give the control over to them and you no longer see it as your personal template. If you share, then you both would see that. And you could add a user or team in here. So we'll say I'm going to give Brandon access to this template as well. And you can choose, can they read it, write, delete, whatever access you want to give them, you can share that with. So it may be easier if, say, you need to run a template and then you have a backup for when you are out sick or on vacation or something like that that would run your reports. That may be an instance where you just want a personal template and then you share it with like one other person. If you're looking at something where you want any of your sales managers or any of your general managers or a larger grouping that has like a security role setting, you could put that in system templates and enable security roles. Or if you just, anybody can have access, it's just a template for a report, doesn't contain sensitive data that they can't know, you would have just an all over system template. So with that, that is the end of our demo here. We do have a few minutes to spare in the time. If you have any questions, you can always reach out to me afterwards to via email or anything like that. But does anyone have any questions right now? Not seeing any pop up. Well, with that, I will let you guys get on with the rest of your day. Thank you for spending this time with me to learn a little bit more about Excel templates. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you.